Hello and welcome to the 2017 Golden Gizmos, Destroy All Children's annual award for excellence in video games. Today, we're going to be looking at the best game under $30, which is basically meant to commend indie games, but what's an indie game in 2018? We all know 2017 even, because it's about games from 2017, right? Right.
I
But,
prepared by playing none of these games.
of course, except for Sonic Mania. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So, here's the list. Best game under $30. The nominees are Cuphead, Sonic Mania. That's not gonna be there. Hollow Knight, The Long Dark, Thimbleweed Park, Slime Rancher, Picross S, Night in the Woods, and Player Unknown's Battlegrounds squeezing in at $29.99.
Oh boy. I can already see. By the way, I'm George. Hello.
Who?
Hi.
Oh yes, I'm Larry Davis. I'm your host for the Golden Gizmos.
Danny's here for some reason. Say hi, Danny.
Oh, hello.
Danny, how many of these games on this specific list have you actually played?
Let me see. Probably were four. Four.
How many have you played to completion?
Probably one of them.
So, all right. I have a genuine question for you. I kind of theorized this before we started. Did you actually not play more of Sonic Mania after the Puyo Pop boss? I fucking knew it! Puyo Pop threw you off the whole game.
I have not completed Sonic Mania.
Oh, man.
I played that one Puyo boss and I'm just like, Sonic, I used to like you, but you fucker.
You at least played past the motherfucking Puyo boss, so...
Yeah, it's like the second level.
Yeah, also, as I pointed out, the easiest game of Puyo Pop I think that anyone could ever play.
I think you could probably just hold down on the D-pad and win.
Yeah.
It's like those videos of Luigi and Mario Party where you just like don't do anything and he still wins.
Sure, it's really quite embarrassing if you can't beat that Puyo Pop boss.
Kinda is.
Yeah.
I stopped playing after that really terrible Oil Ocean level.
To be fair, Oil Ocean is definitely the worst level. Like, that boss
Good
is
thing
actually...
they saved the real bangers for the end then.
I do think that Lava Reef and Metallic Madness are really good levels, but that Oil Ocean one I could see people kind of falling off with. Like, especially that boss just fucking sucks. Where the platforms drop out from underneath you, and then sometimes they just suck you through the ground and it automatically kills you.
Did they ever fix that?
I thought that I thought
to.
they did, because they said that they were going to, and then when I played that game about a week ago, I got sucked through the ground and died immediately.
Oh.
So I don't think they actually did.
Great.
Yeah. Also, even if that were not a problem anymore, like, that boss takes way too long to get through. Like, it's not a fun boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the level sucks too.
I'm in total agreement that that level sucks, that boss sucks. I really don't like Oil.
Most of the new ones I don't like. I didn't like that the press one or whatever.
That's actually maybe my favorite level.
It gave me real flashbacks to Sonic CD and like tons of conveyor belts everywhere.
That level I was
like,
sour on to begin with, and then over time I think that's actually become my favorite level.
Yeah, it's called Stockholm Syndrome.
I've played a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Too much, some would say.
It's disgusting how much. It's
Sonic starts to rot your brain after a while.
You know what, Danny? Mister, I have like 3,000 hours in Warframe. I don't think you get to talk down to anyone for putting time into a video game.
He has a point.
They update it frequently and it's always fresh.
Oh my god.
I wonder how many hours I have in Siege.
There's your Stockholm Syndrome right there.
I'm gonna take a look. I'm opening Uplay.
Okay.
Pray for my computer.
You know what, in Danny's defense, they are updating Warframe pretty often.
Yeah, I know, but come on.
Even I know that's a sickly amount of hours for a video game.
Well, so this is going to boil down to... Well, I remember being on some Discord channel and somebody's just like, oh, I got like 1,000 hours in Warframe. I'm like, look here, bitch. Don't you step to the king when he is away.
Well, I play Siege quite a bit.
Yeah.
They also update that frequently, and I have 320 hours in it. So
Soon you will reach the 1,000.
They may
no,
be updating Sonic Mania pretty soon.
they also might be giants.
There is a listing now for Sonic Mania Plus, whatever that is.
It's game
Uno.
and season pass.
Sure. I mean, Super Sonic is now DLC in Sonic Forces, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sonic anymore. Anyway, we need to boil this down to 5 games.
Okay.
I can already tell you, as much as I like Sonic Mania, I'm comfortable with it not making the top 5, because I do think that there are other games on this list that you get a lot more bang for your buck under 30, and I think are doing a lot more artistic and interesting things.
What was Sonic? Was Sonic 20?
I think it's 20 or 25, somewhere around there.
No, it couldn't be 25 or I wouldn't have bought it.
I'm pretty sure it was 20.
Okay, well I'm just gonna say Hollow Knight is 15.
Hollow Knight is 15. Hollow Knight's really good. Hollow
Sonic
Knight needs to
Mania
make the top
is
5.
20.
Hollow
Okay.
Knight is a fucking fantastic game. I love it.
Hollow Knight is so I kind of got into you with this a little bit, Danny, that in a year where there is an actual literal Metroid game out, I think Hollow Knight just plays better. Like, it controls so tightly.
So, like, here's the thing too. Like, I like it when I don't feel invincible. Because with Metroid, you get that syndrome where, like, once you start getting your power ups, like even early on when you have like only like one energy tank, like you still are just like, all right, I'm just gonna shoot everything. I'm away from danger. Here, I like Hollow Knight because like you're in the thick of it. It's very like you very have to like know how to approach some enemies.
So you've
'Cause
actually
there's
played it now.
yes, like
Good.
so that the big ass enemies with the giant like clubs. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like time it right to where like when you hit them, you jump away from them so like
hmm
the hammer doesn't hit you, you're gonna get fucked. And like I really like that. I really
And
like that you have to play smart.
and the bosses and characters like those have a real rhythm to them that I really like.
Yes, they're like I didn't notice it until like when like the first boss. Like there was a real rhythm to it. Like you
Uh-huh.
can
It definitely has a sort of Dark Souls like pattern with the bosses of just sort of getting their movements down, and then at that point, like, it's fairly easy to not even get hit.
yep.
hmm
Like that club boss where he will like smack the ground and a bunch of shit falls from the ceiling. Like the first time around, he completely pushed my shit in. And then when I went back the second time, like, I don't think I really got hit that much. Like maybe once or twice.
And then I didn't know this, but you can actually like throw that shit back at him. Those weird orb things.
Oh,
hmm
Yeah, you can throw you can hit those and they hit the boss and it does like more damage.
I wish I
Yep.
knew that. Although I do like his big stupid face oozing out of his
Oh, that
armor.
was
Yeah.
great. It was great. That was great. He's like, just
Yeah.
taking air. Oh man,
I
that's when like the
really,
game really did it for me. I was like, okay, this is a game I'm gonna buy. Like if it's on this, like I think is it on the Switch? Because I want a portable version of it.
If it's not out, it will be soon. I think it is.
Because that is an
I,
that is a like this game is a fantastic game for a
yeah.
portable.
Yep.
So speaking of Dark Souls, I also like too when you're just sort of exploring like the underground and you'll come across somebody like humming and you find them like the cartographer down there just screwing around, drawing a
Yes.
ton of maps, and like that whole area is just littered with paper. That one bug that was like mining for crystals, and she's just like, "Pick up a pickaxe, we're going to get rich. It's plenty for everybody."
Yeah.
But you kind of bring some of those characters back into your hub, sort of like a Dark Souls game where that starts to get filled out more. Uh, but I really like that too. It added a lot of personality to the game for me.
It did. I liked it a lot. Like I like that the characters are very like different. Like they're very like they're not just like oh random NPCs.
Yeah,
They are
game has a good look.
specific. Yeah, they are specific characters that you'll actually enjoy.
It's got a good look and it's got a real good feel to it, and I've been enjoying it a whole lot. And
Hollow Knight is not on the Switch yet. Slated for first quarter 2018. So
Know what I'm getting?
and to talk just a little bit more about the Metroid inspirations in there, I really like how they had those floating platforms with like the spiky dude just walking around the perimeter of
Yep.
them. That is Metroid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I think it deserves to be in the top 5. I really like I like that game a lot.
It's
Yep.
a very superb game. It's a very superb game.
It is, some would say, that the Dark Souls of indie games.
Okay.
But it's sort of it's
You
kind
die,
of
you go get
true.
back to your bloodstain /
It's
It's the
really
family.
shadow.
true.
It's the shadow tower of indie games.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna remove Picross
Yeah,
for
we
reasons that I've mentioned.
yeah.
Look, I like Picross, but come on.
So as you said, that thing tutorializes you.
No, it's
And
not that
you can't.
tutorializes you a
Well,
lot.
it's-
It's that you can't disable hints.
That's I was about to say that is it does that, but it also you can't like get rid of it.
Yeah. Also, buy Battlegrounds. Come on.
Yeah. Well, we haven't talked too much about Battlegrounds, but do you just sort of want to wait till I dive into that when we get into multiplayer?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Like I feel like we got some shit to sling towards Battlegrounds, and I don't want us to miss out.
Yeah.
We need to share some words.
Oh.
Hey, but hey, George, why don't you talk about Thimbleweed Park, as you played it recently?
Yes. So I was not as huge into like the old-timey adventure games as you were. I still
Mhm.
like them and I find them very charming, but I always, to like a certain point, I would just get lost and wouldn't know what to do, and I would just fall off board with them. I've been really digging Thimbleweed Park, and I can see myself actually finishing that thing. I've so far not found any of the puzzles or where it wants you to go to be that difficult to do it. It's been more easy for me to approach. Speaking of like charm though, like Hollow Knight having a lot of character in it, Thimbleweed Park is oozing at the seams with charm. Just so much of it.
On your way into town, you meet two plumbers dressed as pigeons.
Yeah, and they just keep
Because that's
talking
their
about the
thing.
signals.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are the signals? They're just like, we're just fucking with you. But for real, watch out for the signals.
There's also a sweary clown who is important to the plot.
Ransom the Clown.
Yeah. There is a ghost. I don't know.
I don't think I made it to the ghost.
Oh, well, there's a ghost.
Oh
Spoiler.
no. Well, the whole game's ruined now, and I'm never going back to it. Take it off.
Oh,
No,
list.
it's not. Because that game takes weird turns near the end that remind me a lot of the end of Monkey Island 2, which is probably intentional. But I don't know.
I also think that is a very sizable game. Like, there's a lot. Like, I looked ahead in a walkthrough just to be like, okay, how far in am I? And that thing is divided into like 9 chapters, and I don't think I've quite finished the first one yet.
Oh, well,
Like, I got a lot
you
to
have,
go.
because if you got to clown, like that's chapter 2, I think.
So, no, the thing with. Well, I did Ransom's backstory. I've not actually gone to go meet him.
Yeah, yes.
Well, so then.
I mean, I think that just playing as him is like part 2.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know.
I did his backstory like super early in the game. Because like as soon as you go into the diner and you sit down and talk to that lady, you can do his stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe that's not it then.
I don't know. So there's also like this palpable Twin Peaks vibe to it. Like in the music being real twangy and sort of like this moody offbeat jazz and just sort of the general weirdness of the town, and like everyone there is their own bizarre character with their own weird quirks, and yet none of it feels out of place.
Please mention excuse me. Please mention the sheriff.
There's a sheriff
deserves it.
who is a perfect foil to your characters. He's always just showing up out of the ether, man, and just fucking with you and just being like, you should leave the town of Reno.
Yeah,
he adds
he also
Reno
speaks
to
like
the
Ned Flanger.
yeah.
Ned Flangers.
And there is a mortician who is just the sheriff, but he keeps adding O to the end of things. So he takes you to the morgue and he introduces you to like the Bloodotron 3000 O, where you like
Yep.
you get toilet paper in a bathroom stall, run all the way back across the map to the corpse, dab it with his blood, and then you're running back with dried blood on toilet paper to feed into the Bloodotron 3000. It's a really good game.
It is.
There's a lot of fourth wall breaking in that thing too, and normally that stuff could really put me off of a game or a comic or anything really that does that, but it never really feels out of place in this either. It doesn't feel forced or put on.
Yes, there's going to be a lot more of that.
And it's been good fourth wall breaking so far. I've been totally.
It's not, so without spoiling it, it's not superfluous. There is a reason for it, but
Well, then maybe that's why it kind of works, because if you're writing that thing with intent behind it, then it
yeah,
probably wouldn't
it's
seem
not like they
weird.
went back and were like, we gotta punch this up with some jokes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Throw
made
out
it,
this old sheriff character he had. He's fucking garbage. He's Ned Flanders now.
yeah, it's not like a Deadpool or something.
I really liked trying to go into a different part of town, and the sheriff stopped me because I need to have like some sort of permission to go there. And then my comeback to him was just like, "Aren't there a bunch of donuts somewhere that you should be eating?" And he's like, "Well, you got me there, Reno."
Yep. Everyone loves donuts.
I mean, yeah, yeah,
But I mean, that response would work talking to anybody. I think Danny fell asleep.
probably.
Yeah,
I
I'm sorry.
like the tube. I like the tube store that is just like, what's the name of the lady there?
I don't remember. I
It's
played months ago.
Patty, because like the store's name is Patty Cakes, and then you go in
Oh,
there and it's
yes,
just
yeah.
filled with tubes.
That's right.
You're just like, why is your store named Patty Cakes? She's like, oh, well, it was a bakery, some stuff happened. Now I just sell tubes here. Thinking of
Yeah.
renaming it. What's a name that you like? One of the options is just you should rename your store YouTube. Oh, man.
I like
I
Thimbleweed
like
Park.
Thimbleweed Park a lot. Yeah, it's also like it completely nails that old school adventure game look and vibe.
Yeah. I mean, it's from Ron Gilbert, so
Yeah,
if somebody's making like a 2D adventure game, it should be him or Tim Schafer. That's really the only options.
I think there's no way this and Hollow Knight don't make the top 5.
Yep. Also notable for being the first game, or first good game Ron Gilbert has made in like 2 decades.
Or Ron Gilbert.
No, he's had his chances. Remember The Cave? Remember Death Spank?
I don't know how I forgot something named Deathspank, but evidently I did.
Better off. Actually, it wasn't terrible, but
So, do you want to just stick numbers by Hollow Knight and Thimbleweed just so we say that they're all at the top 5?
I guess.
And then there's no way Cuphead isn't making the top 5, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna put like dashes here so we
Okay.
know. Okay.
Uh, so to just say something real quick about Cuphead, I think that game is more style over substance. I don't think it does a whole lot new with the whole run and gun kind of thing, but it's been a long time since a good run and gun game of that type has come out, and I still really like it for what it's doing.
And I feel the
Also, though,
style helps it too.
I feel like there's something to be said for the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, if you look at individually, yeah, but it all comes together in a way that I think is really, really good.
I think that if Cuphead didn't have the animated style that it has, there's no way we would be talking about it.
I don't know. I mean, I really liked, what was that Contra game that came out on Xbox Live Arcade?
I have no.
It was like Hardcore Uprising, I think.
Sure. I don't
And
know, actually.
like it was very good. I
Hmm.
liked it a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
I
Like, I
just
mean,
like that kind of game.
I did just get done saying too that I also like that kind of game, and I don't think that there has been one of those that have come out that has felt quite as good as Cuphead to me in a while. But I do think that Cuphead style carries it a long, long, long way.
Yeah.
I'm still fine putting it in the top under 30 though. I still think it's good.
Okay.
I just don't think
Danny,
that.
what do you say? Do you have any input at all? Are you awake?
Well,
No.
like,
Nope. The answer is no.
what are we talking about?
Danny's just over here going like, how can I get Warframe into this list?
That's what I do with every
I'm-
list.
I mean, didn't it leave early access
Don't
this year?
you dare.
I don't know.
I don't
really
think
don't
it
know.
did. I don't think it ever will.
Is
You
it
put
actually
ammunition into
still in
Danny's
it?
Warframe gun, he's
The-
going to shoot it off
The
forever.
EULA still says it's in beta, which is stupid.
Oh.
Hey, you know, we'll be
Well,
talking
didn't that-
about permanent betas later on in the show.
Hey,
Thanks, Ed Sullivan.
Got a really big shoe.
That's a reference kids like, right?
Uh-huh.
Ed Sullivan.
You and me and our outdated references.
Did that
You're both
update
old.
for Warframe with the
That's true,
open
Danny.
world stuff actually hit?
yeah. Like what do you mean hit? As in like it's out now, or like was
Yes,
it like a
I
big
mean
success?
it's out now. Yes, that's what I mean. I don't mean like, oh, did you gauge the public reaction to it? Yes, did it actually come out?
Yeah, it came out, and there was like a couple events that were associated with it, and so
Okay, now, did you gauge the public reaction to it? How is it?
so like it's top 7 in like most played Steam games, and
That's
like
not what I'm
everyone
asking.
really likes it.
I was going to say, if that's
Like-
the metric we're going on, then man, PUBG is at the top of the list.
Let's see, what's the top Steam games?
It's
It's
PUBG.
I don't
PUBG
know.
with like 2 million.
I was mentioning this to George earlier. Did you know PUBG is like the 11th best-selling game of all time?
I think Danny just left. I think he just got up and walked away.
No, I wouldn't blame him.
Me either. You
I-
really like Night in the Woods, right?
Yes.
Okay.
By
Because
the
I'm
way,
looking.
because of the Steam sale, I can't actually see what the top-selling things are because it just scrolls forever.
No. So I'm looking at the rest of this list, and the only thing that I've actually put time into is Sonic Mania. And again, if I'm, from what I know about Night in the Woods or The Long Dark and things like that, I don't know if Sonic Mania is doing a whole lot
Here's the thing, though.
that impressive to maybe make it under 30.
Look, here's the thing.
Yes.
I'll give you a pity slot for Sonic Mania
You're
at the
giving me a
bottom.
pity slut? What?
A pity slot.
Oh, that's much different.
Come on.
A totally
be
different
rude.
thing.
This is a family show.
I do think that Sonic Mania actually encourages replayability, as different characters offer up a much different way to explore those levels. Those levels are incredibly deep. There's a lot of dividing and intersecting pathways and hidden alcoves and things like that, that if you are into the kind of game that Sonic is, you would probably be very inclined to go back and take different routes on multiple playthroughs just to see all of what that game has to offer.
It also has those very bad bonus stages.
The bonus, like the Blue Sphere ones, because I agree that that's a shitty
Both.
way to do. I actually really like the special stages. I think that those are the best controlling ones in that series, and I really dig the Saturn style that they're going for.
Okay.
I do agree. I like the Saturn style.
I really like that giant Robotnik tower in Stardust Speedway that's just Saturn graphics. That looks super...
Slime
It looks terrible, but I love it.
Slime Rancher has slimes.
It does.
It does.
It has a lot of them.
But you know how I feel about slimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm
Oh, no.
saying there's a different.
We need to
I'm
move
saying
on.
there's a different list Slime Rancher goes into.
George's mantra: if it's slime and you can't fuck it, you out of the list.
That's exactly what I say. You promised me you
That's
were
his
going to bring
motto.
that up in a recording.
I'm sorry, but like it's like you have to be full frontal about everything here.
Please read my new infrequent guest column at lewdgamer.com. Slimes, and why I love them.
Don't give them any more advertising. They don't need it. I say the top 5 should be Cuphead, Hollow Knight, Thimbleweed Park, Night in the Woods, Sonic Mania, in that order.
I agree completely.
Was
Even though
Cuphead
I've
at the
never
top?
played
Yes.
Thimbleweed.
I don't know if I would put Cuphead at the top. I do agree that of those top 5, I think I would maybe put Thimbleweed Park at the top.
Wow.
Wow.
Bold.
I think Thimbleweed Park is a better game than Cuphead. Like, I'm having more fun actually playing that thing than I am with Cuphead, which isn't to disparage Cuphead. It's a perfectly good game.
Like you just find it, there's more substance in Thimbleweed Park than there is in Cuphead.
Yeah, sorta.
That is true.
You know, like I can't fault that. You know, like Cuphead is very simplistic in nature, and it's like just boss rushes and a couple of run and gun levels.
I
And
find
it is
And
pretty
like
short.
from what you tell me about Thimbleweed Park, it's very story. Like, is it very story rich? You would say.
Well, it's an
Yes.
adventure
You'd have
game,
to go
so
around.
yeah, like all your puzzles
Yeah.
are based around pushing the story forward in some way or building that world. Like one of the things I also really like about Thimbleweed Park is that it stops to do these vignettes on certain characters in the town, like the game developer girl and Ransom the Clown, and like those don't feel like I'm not going into those going like, oh god, I just want to get back to like pushing the plot forward. Like I'm actually genuinely interested in these side characters because they're just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And like those sections of the game are really fun to play. Like
Danny, at the end of Ransom the Clown's storyline, he's a clown that's also an insult comic, and he insults a gypsy in the audience who then curses him so he can't remove his makeup anymore.
and he cannot leave the circus that he's at either.
Yeah.
Oh.
This also
So he's just stuck there.
his manager also comes in and reveals that his house in Aspen burned down and his wife found out about his mistress and has left him. I just really like this idea of this insult comic clown who has like a place in Aspen where his mistress has been waiting for him.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to be like a real big shot.
Oh yeah. I think he was
the
like
Don
on
Rickles of
yeah, I think he
Thimbleweed
says
Park.
that like he was on Carson at some point. Oh boy.
That's really great.
It is. But I think the biggest thing I could say in Thimbleweed's favor is it does a lot of things that could be so easily mishandled in any other game that it would feel like a really out of place component, but nothing in Thimbleweed comes off that way. Like everything kind of just gels together perfectly. Much like a slime would with other slimes. Form a really big slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thimbleweed
Also,
is number 1.
Also, I just feel like I should mention The Long Dark is the only one of those like early access survival games that I think is any good at all.
That's can you remind me of that again? I think I saw it, but I haven't actually like really looked into it. It's
What?
like, can you remind me what it is again?
It's in the snow.
It's
Okay.
long and it's dark.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Basically.
George.
They had to age gate it.
Basically, it's just you're surviving out in the wilderness in the snow. They added a story mode to it, which I have not played actually, but that gives you a little bit of added value. But it was like one of the most complete feeling early access games that I played. Like I played it through multiple stages of its development, and it never felt busted, like in the way PUBG definitely has, or many other examples like Ark or whatever. Like there were things that could be fixed in it, but it wasn't like you were just piloting this jank machine or something.
I was going to ask, was Dead by Daylight ever in early access for an extended amount of time?
No, I think that just like came out.
All right.
I think it had betas, but
just curious, because if you're talking about a busted early access thing, that would be specifically horror oriented.
Yeah.
I think that would be an example, but I guess that's just a busted final release.
The Long Dark is not a horror game.
I thought you said survival horror, or just like in that kind of
No.
vein.
No, just survival.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard you.
No. I mean, when you're wandering around out in the dark and a bear shows up,
I mean,
it can be spooky.
that is definitely spooky.
Yeah, but no, it's not specifically.
Let me tell you, unless I could put a Dig Dug flag and a pair of sunglasses on that bear, that is 100%
Yeah.
terrifying. And in fact, you know what? If that bear did have a Dig Dug flag and glasses, it might be even scarier.
Yeah. That
Shit, this
bear's
bear is
wearing a Bullet
sentient and
Club
he's got
shirt.
style.
Or
Alright.
what if you turned a corner and there was a dude standing there in wrestling tights and a jaguar mask?
I'd shit myself until I died.
Oh,
No
that's
exactly.
question.
too scary. Too scary.
So, my order for this, personally, would be Thimbleweed Park as number 1, Cuphead, Hollow Knight, Night in the Woods, Sonic Mania.
Okay.
Mine's would be Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Sonic Mania, since that's I have played that. And
Barely, but yes.
barely.
To be fair, you have watched me play it, so.
I mean, we didn't we play it in one of our things.
Yep, the game has been efficiently ranked against the other Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis style game.
Here's a question. If you saw footage of Sonic Mania next to like Sonic CD or Sonic 3 or something, could you tell the difference?
I could, yes.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm very sure it's a lot more vibrant than the other ones.
Okay.
Plus, sprite work is a lot better too.
I agree with Danny. To nobody's surprise. You put Cuphead above or under Hollow Knight? It was under, right?
It was under Hollow Knight, yes. I enjoyed
I could see my way to
Hollow
doing the
Knight
same.
immensely. I enjoyed Hollow Knight immensely, and I'm going to keep playing more.
I could see my way to the same. I could see this being Thimbleweed, Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Night in the Woods, Sonic Mania.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to test something.
Okay.
All right, there's that.
I know exactly what
crap.
that is. That's...
Hold on, this is for Danny. Okay. Which of these is which?
The top one is, I think, a Sonic CD, and the bottom one is Sonic Mania.
See, the problem is the URL has eShop in it. I couldn't find another screenshot.
I think maybe more pointedly, though, I think Danny recognizes they used Green Hill in Sonic Mania, and they did not use Palm Tree.
What?
Palm Tree Panic is the one on the top from Sonic CD.
Who cares?
Because there was only one of that kind of level in Mania, and Danny watched me play the shit out of that game.
Alright.
Larry, to be fair, I didn't look at the eShop thing until you pointed it out.
No.
Okay.
Alright, number these fuckers, let's move on.
I would also agree with Thimbleweed at number 1 then. Because I really liked it, but nobody else agreed with it until now.
I found it very weird that you were acquiescing to Cuphead being number 1. So I definitely felt the need to slide in and go like, no, man, Thimbleweed Park is number 1.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but...
I'll respect your opinions.
Alright.
Thank you, Danny.
Well, we have permission now. Okay, so, I'd say 1 Thimbleweed.
I know there's nothing that we can do about it, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I do genuinely like the keyboard clacking while this is going on, because it makes it feel like we're doing some fucking...
Clickety clack, clack, clack.
Yeah. We're banging out this list.
Do you think number 2 would be Cuphead or Hollow Knight?
I think Hollow Knight would be the more fun to actually sit down and play, whereas I think Cuphead would be more fun to sit down and watch. So I would say Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. I would agree.
Okay. Man, lots of upsets happening.
Yeah. Sonic Mania being on the list is an upset, some would say. I do
bit.
appreciate you giving me the pity slot, though. Thank you.
Wait, the what?
The pity slot.
Oh, okay.
But also,
He
Also-
completely forgot about it.
No, I remember.
also the pity slut. I know that you.
Yeah.
Slime Ranch will come up again. In a category I will fight for it.
It's not gonna win.
Alright, number 5.
Sonic Mania.
Number 4.
Night in the Woods.
Number 3.
Cuphead.
Number 2.
Hollow Knight.
And number 1.
Thimbleweed Park. Congratulations, Ron Gilbert.
Great. Good job, Ron
Right.
Gilbert.
You did it, Ron.
Good
proud
job,
of you.
Ron. It only took you 20 years, Ron. You did it. Hey, you know what?
Okay.
While we're at it, good job, Sonic Mania. It only took you 20 years, but you did it. Okay.
I don't think you're getting a backup on that one.
You know what? It took him 20 damn years to make a good Sonic game, just like it took Ron Gilbert 20 years to make a good adventure game again.
Sonic Colors was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
That's 3D.
Sonic Forces is not good. Sonic Forces might make another list a little bit later. Right, next category. Okay. Best multiplayer?
Yes.
Now we can get into the dirt, Larry.
Here are the categories. I had problems thinking of nominees for this. If it was up to me, I would just put Rainbow Six Siege again, but can't do that. So here's the list as I have it written out. Question marks, PUBG, I guess, or Splatoon 2, Gang Beasts, Injustice 2 Mayhap, Tekken 7, Puyo Puyo Tetris.
You know, there is a multiplayer mode in Sonic Mania.
Yeah, that's cool. What about these nominees?
No. I do think it would
What do you
have been funny
define?
if you
What do you
snuck...
define multiplayer? Do you define multiplayer as in like as in like a lot of players or like co-op? 'Cause Cuphead does have co-op.
You can't be serious.
I'm sorry, I really just like a lot of players.
What? Do you know what multi means?
I'm just messing with you. I know.
The Steam listing for PUBG just says a lot of players multiplayer.
Online, a lot of players.
I'm sorry, Danny. I'm not laughing with you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Shit. I almost made him realize it was the other way around.
It was the other way around. I know. Fucker.
Well, I think you and I both know, Larry, that there is no way in hell Danny is fighting for Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I don't know, he might like the Tetris part of it.
I like the Tetris part. Puyo Puyo can go suck its dick.
Wow.
Look, there's another category for
Hot
the
take.
slimes, okay?
There's also a category for Hottest Take 2017, and that might be it.
Oh,
wow.
Boy. Jesus.
Honored, I'm sure.
I don't know, that's a conflict of interest. He's part of the committee. Puyo Puyo Tetris, There's 6 games here, and I'm gonna say I'd feel the least good about having Splatoon make the top 5.
Yes, I think so too.
I understand that they have added some modes and things later on in that game. Splatoon 1 was a mid to late 2015 release, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so.
It felt like the gap of time between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 was so short that for Splatoon 2 to basically be the same exact game again just felt grimy. Like, it felt like that should have been Splatoon DX or something like that.
Yes, kind of. Also, though, it was on the Wii U. So,
Yeah,
they did the same thing with Mario Kart. It's like, here, you can have it on a platform that people actually own.
And I realize like maybe part of my hang up is just looking at it and going like, oh, it's Splatoon 2 instead of Splatoon DX or Splatoon Deluxe or something like that.
Yeah.
But I still wanted more out of that than what they presented. Just based on the amount of space between those two games. If it were a lot longer, if we're talking like maybe this was 3 years and they put out Splatoon 2 and it was basically just more Splatoon, I maybe would have been more okay than if it was like a year and a half.
Thing is, I feel like they would have just called it like Splatoon Deluxe or something, if not for like the new story mode and stuff.
Yes, and that's also what it kind of boils down to me is I don't care about Splatoon story mode.
I don't either.
Like that first one was okay, I guess, but it was like obviously the weakest part of that game.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I have found Splatoon 2 to be very good.
I have a hard time seeing it being better than Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I agree with that.
You smash the Puyos with the Tetraminos, that's
Well-
better than anything Splatoon 2 is doing.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I'm also one of the Puyo Puyo Tetris players in the state.
There he goes again.
So,
Can't stop bragging.
ranked number 9 out of a total available players in this region of 5.
I was gonna say 7.
Nope, it's 5. Hey, look, not to... You both have played against me in Tetris. I think I'm actually more than adequate at Tetris.
Yeah.
Puyo is where it gets a little bit more difficult for me.
It's a little dicey.
I can beat Danny,
Well, okay.
Sure.
but Danny also
I
really
think
struggles. Danny
I think
hates me.
Rob could probably beat him.
Oh wow! Why would you go and say something like that?
Look, it's true.
I'm gone. I'm out of here.
That's the most fucked up thing I think you've ever said.
I know, the savagery on display.
Jesus.
Okay,
Danny, I think it kind of so. Splatoon 2 or Puyo Puyo Tetris, Danny? Share your thoughts.
I'm gonna go Splatoon 2.
Fuck. The hot takes just don't stop coming.
It's a
Never-
shooty game. I like shooty.
Never could have seen that one coming. Okay.
Danny loves shooty, big multiplayer games.
How do you feel about Punchy Punchy?
Punchy. I like punchy.
Then which of these Punchy Punchies do you think has the best multiplayer?
I'm gonna say Tekken.
Really? Over Gang Beasts?
Yeah, Danny, you want to step aside with me
That's-
for a second?
I don't know that I agree with that.
I thought
I
you
don't
mean.
either.
Do you mean in number one sense or like better than than what we just previously discussed?
Of the Punchy Punchy games, which do you think is the best?
So real quick, Danny, do you hear Punchy and you only think of Injustice 2 and Tekken and you're not considering Gang Beasts?
I think Gang Beasts is more of like not a fighting game, but like an actual
But you...
like an action game.
Okay, but here's the thing though. You punch people in it. That's why I said of the
And you
Punchy
ragdoll,
Punchies.
but you ragdoll too, and it's like that's like one of the most integral parts is ragdolling off shit with your opponent in your clutches as you both die of
I'm gonna
a
make
glorious death.
I'm gonna make a very bold claim here. Gang Beasts is the best multiplayer game of the year.
I
It's the
agree.
best multiplayer game, and it's the best multiplayer game.
Like,
Danny, when
I'm
when
not-
you and I sat down and played that, we were laughing our heads off of our actual bodies.
Look, I'm not disagreeing. I fucking love, but I thought you meant as like fighting it
Yeah.
because like Gang Beasts again, I don't see as a fighting game. I see it more as like an action party.
No, I meant of the games that involve punching.
You
Which is
two
the
are
best.
crossing like
We
ships in the
hardly-
night here.
You hardly punch in Gang Beasts. It's more of you punch
What
and
are
you
you
just
talking-
stick your hand in the
Okay,
ring and be like, I got you.
I'm going to get into the middle of you guys. What Larry is saying is punching is a component in it, and he is very loosely using the term punchy to refer to all games in which you punch people on this list. Danny, I understand that is not a typical fighting game. I would agree if you were to say it is more of like a wrestling game or a grappling
Look,
game.
In Gang Beasts, you grab with one hand and then you punch with the other until they are limp, and then you pick them up and toss them.
Whoa.
That's very wrestling. So I'll have to agree. Okay, yeah,
That's right.
punch game. It is the best punching game.
Okay.
I do think the Gang Beast makes the top of the list. That game took me back to a sort of sensation I only had on like the N64, maybe the GameCube, of just sitting in a room physically next to your friends and just having a really, really, really good time with a fucking dumb multiplayer game.
It reminds me of the first Smash Brothers in that way.
Yeah, that's that, or like one of the old good wrestling games. Like,
Yeah.
Danny, I went back and rewatched that Destroy All Friends, and we were laughing ourselves senseless. Like, it was very obvious we were having a really, really good time with that game.
Oh no, I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I don't have anything bad to say about Gang Beasts.
I
That's a
could
fun game.
I could feel the joy radiating through my computer screen, taking me back to like when I was hanging on to like that side of that building, and you were just like, "Oh, I could punch like the cables off of this elevator," and then you did, and you just fucking plunged to the bottom of the screen.
I think it's also important to note that while I don't think, for example, best game under 30 or the top 10, like Gang Beasts, the level of craft in it is probably not as highly polished as the rest. Like even Sonic Mania, like I don't like it, but let's be real. Sonic Mania is a more finished game than Gang Beasts. But when it comes to fun that you can have when playing multiplayer, nothing else really comes close.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, so I think number 2 and 3 kind of boils down to Injustice 2 and Tekken. So why don't we just get that out of the way?
Here we go again.
And then just we can figure out these bottom 3. So I talked to each of you guys that Tekken is a game that for me has a style and a craziness to it that I want to be able to get into more than I have been able to, because I've sort of just come to realize that Tekken is not the kind of fighting game that appeals to me, but just with the way that it feels. I feel something like Injustice 2 just is much more punchy. The combos to me feel more fluid. I know that Larry disagrees vehemently with that.
Yes, I do.
I think NetherRealms absolutely has down that kind of like crunch when you're punching somebody or slamming them into the ground, whereas Tekken, like, it's very flashy, but I didn't quite get the same sort of visceral like impact when I'm landing a combo. And like those are the things that I kind of value more when going into a fighting game. That
We
said,
are playing the same. You did play Tekken 7, right?
yes,
I just want to
I
make
don't
sure.
know how
like,
you forgot me screaming about Kazuya last night and like how
No,
mad
but like
that fight was making me.
But like you say, like it doesn't have like that like visualness to it. Like I disagree. Like Tekken 7
I
is
do too.
so much like good. Like you can string combos in very effectively and like essentially just juggle your opponent to death.
I
and
just
it's,
found it
like,
very
the most-
stiff and kind of clunky.
Here's the thing, for me, if I was ranking my top fighting game franchises, neither of these would be at the top. I like Tekken 7 more than NetherRealms games, for reasons that I should probably mention here. Specifically, NetherRealms games, I don't like their animation. I feel like they have these large sweeping movements that I really don't like. And I don't like that their combos are very like preset. Like you have to do these moves in this sequence or it just won't do anything. Tekken 7 has a little bit more freedom in that regard, but it's not as much as like a Guilty Gear or a Street Fighter or let's see what else do I like? Tell me.
Smash Brothers. You're always talking about the
What? No.
legitimacy of Smash Brothers as a fighting game, and
specifically Melee.
I wave dash all over the place. But
I remember that 18-hour long rant that you gave me about tripping in Brawl.
Yeah, we've modded the Wii so we can play
He
Project M or what is that what it was called?
Yeah. He set up graphs and slideshows to explain to me what was bad about tripping, Danny. It was insane.
Hey, tripping's really bad. All right,
no.
in a game
No,
that
now
never
I
had
got
tripping.
you started.
But either way, Tekken is much better than NetherRealms games.
So I should clarify too that for me this boils down to personal preference a lot. I don't think that Tekken is a bad game. I don't think I am in a position that I can actually approach it objectively enough to say if it is structurally better than Injustice, because it's just not the type of fighting game for me.
Well, I also think NetherRealms games are more suited for players like you because they have so much single player stuff in them. Not just the story mode, but like the multiverse stuff in Injustice
Yeah.
2 is very good.
Yeah, it's very good. Like I like Injustice 2 for the sense that like it's good for a person who wants to get into fighting games.
I think that,
Easily get into it with like multiverse and like the story modes and the arcade, basically inside the multiverse.
so two of the
Mhm.
things I had written down for Injustice 2 here was that I think that fighting system is very easy for you to get into, and you kind of recognize that and said that it's definitely a fighting game for casual players. But I think it's also deep enough that if you really learn that thing, you can do some crazy shit in it.
Oh, it is. Like, I mean, it's at Evo and everything,
Yeah.
but it's just that I personally do not like that style.
Sure. The other thing I was going to say about Injustice 2 is it has a huge roster, and those characters, for the most part, feel like they have enough differences to validate each and every one of them being on that board. There's some
Also the
that
fact
are a
that
bit
like
too similar, but
also the fact that like those are characters you know?
I think that
Like
does help. Yeah.
Also, might want to mention you pay for like half of those because the roster in the shipping game not that great.
Yeah, that's true. I did buy so be upfront, I did buy the Ultimate Edition, and I cannot actually tell you all of the characters that were DLC because I don't know, besides like Hellboy, Adam, Raiden, and Sub-Zero. And
it's
actually, I
Black
think
Mantis was also
Enchantress, yeah, Black
Enchantress.
Manta is
Enchantress
Starfire.
isn't out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think she's like another week off.
Okay, but
yeah.
Starfire was DLC. Darkseid,
Red Hood. Red
yes,
Hood.
Red
Oh,
Hood
that's right.
was.
Well, wasn't Red Hood like a free DLC thing? Or was
No,
he part of the
No.
pack? Okay.
That was Darkseid was free if you pre-order.
Yeah,
yes.
well, hey.
Also, Darkseid is not included in the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, that's so fucked because he's just sitting there on my customization screen going, like, blinking all the time, and I'm like, oh, cool. I get to pay more money for him,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to do because I don't want to pay for an individual character that I might not ever actually play as. Like, I might.
Tekken
Darkseid's
does
very
this.
good.
Yeah, Darkseid is very good, but
Y-
Tekken does this as well. With like you can get a season pass with like the 3 characters, but like the pre-order characters still you have to pay $5.
That's
is
just
it?
fighting. That's sort of just fighting game. Is
That's
a lot
fighting
of,
games.
hey, we got more characters, buy them piecemeal or buy our season pass. Like,
Yeah, like I was looking at the DLC for Tekken and it was like the season pass was like 2 characters and then like 2 modes, like Tekken Bowl is part of it. And it's like I
Yeah.
don't care about these other characters or Tekken Bowl. I would just buy Geese Howard.
that I had the same thing in mind when I looked at, okay, well, both versions of this are discounted, and I would normally be more inclined to buy whatever the Ultimate Edition is, but I don't care about any of these other characters besides Geese, so I just bought the regular one.
Exactly. Yeah, I just bought regular as well.
But like Injustice, dude, one of those characters is Hellboy, and another of those characters is the Ninja Turtles. Red Hood is in it. I kind of like the look of Red Hood. Say what you will about his actual character.
Okay.
Adam actually seems neat, and I haven't used him yet, but I've fought against him a few times, and he can shrink and grow a bunch, and it's real crazy. I kind of feel like the DLC characters in Injustice are really worth it.
How's Black Manta?
Black Manta has a jetpack, and he can fly around all over the place, and he is... Black... Look, I don't give a shit about Black Manta until now.
I don't know.
No, I
I
give
always liked
so
Black
much
Manta.
of a shit.
Black Manta's way cooler than Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the other thing with Injustice 2 is I hate Aquaman. Aquaman's actually pretty fun to play as in this, weirdly
Yeah.
enough.
But like that was one of my disappointments when I heard like Willem Dafoe was gonna be an Aquaman. I was like, oh, so he's gonna be Black Manta. That'll be great. But no,
Turns out, no,
he's
he's
just like some other
Aquaman.
dude. That would also be very good.
Okay, look, so we need to move on, and I think the thing that it boils down with to me is I like Injustice 2 a lot. I think that the multiverse is it keeps breathing some more life into the single player. I think that the multiplayer is fun. I got some issues with the way that the loot box stuff works because it is sort of random what you get, but it gives it to you a lot. You still earn parts for your character the more that you're playing as them. I like Injustice 2 a whole lot, but I know that if you guys feel very strongly about Tekken 7, it's 2-1, and I don't mind that being number 2 and Injustice being number 3.
Yes, I agree. Like, they're 2 and 3 regardless, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm fine
They're
with
very
that.
close. It's a close 2 and 3. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I can sit here and make an argument for Injustice 2 and the components of that game and what I really like about it, and to a degree I have, but I also know that my issue with Tekken 7 boils down to just issues with me as a person not being able to get into that game, and so I don't feel it's fair to drag that out if you guys really like Tekken 7.
Just give it time. You'll be able to like it more.
I'm definitely going to come back to
get used to it.
Yeah. That final boss, I just want to talk about that final boss real quick, because that final boss is a fucker. That's the only part of that game. That's, that is the only part of that game that I feel is just outright shit.
The story mode is very just like I said, like you can go on from easy, normal, or hard. They do the exact same damage. The only difference is that in
I switched it to easy to fight that boss.
Yeah, in easy, all it does is like it makes it so that your input combos just turn into one button. So like you can just do a string of combos just by pressing one button, either Y or X. And like even if you do that, like the boss is still ridiculously fucking like awful. And then when you fight the final boss, that's just insanity.
My main thing with that final boss of Tekken 7, at least the part that I played, because I didn't know there was a final boss, and that fills me with bile, is it does the slow motion thing, which is very cinematic and neat in like any other battle, but it does it constantly in that final boss. And for whatever reason, those two characters, Heihachi and Devil Kazuya, just look so awkward when they're in slow motion, just rubbing up against each other. Just Heihachi gurgling Kazuya's balls, his head just buried deep in his crotch, and like the hitbox seems fucked because like I'll do a spinning uppercut through him and it will be through his body.
Some other game.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's to a point where I'm just like, I know he's going to hit me. Just let him hit me. Just in the fucking slow motion. Just let him hit me. I want to move on from it and not have to watch these slow motion bullshit scenes 10 times in a match. Okay. I hate that final boss. Anytime you fight a final boss in a volcano, what the fuck?
Bosses in fighting games in general are very bad, usually.
Yeah, I still found Brainiac way more manageable than Devil Kazuya. But
I have to agree, Brainiac was way more manageable than
he was, but he still had some stuff where it was like, come on.
Sure.
This giant like tentacle, like metallic tentacle, just like boom.
I didn't die 5 million times to him in the way that I did Kazuya.
Wait till he died.
To a point where, and Danny can attest to this, I shut the game off and I took a bath because I just needed to step away.
Should we tell him what the last final boss is? Because like, I feel like
I'll find out. I'll find out.
I can't wait because I really want to see your reaction to this because it's insanely bullshit.
It's gonna be me going like, hey, Steam support, I know I played this game for 5 hours, but can I get my money back?
Just message Gabe Newell directly.
I'll trade him a knife for my $25. Alright, anyway, so it is PUBG, Splatoon 2, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Here's the part where it boils down for me, is I think Puyo Puyo Tetris definitely deserves to be on the list above PUBG and Splatoon 2. I'm not sure which one I would rather see cut off the list.
What?
PUBG has a very interesting concept that it is going for. There's a lot that is wrong with that game, that at times borderline makes it unplayable. Versus Splatoon 2, which is very much the same thing as Splatoon 1, but you know what? It at least works, and the thing that it's doing is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really think there's much of a question.
Hold on, I'm trying to find... I need my notes. about PUBG.
Good Foley work. By that I mean Mick Foley, Mankind.
Oh, there they are.
Okay, what's it say?
Well, my top note, I think, is the most salient point. That is a game that is perhaps better enjoyed if you are watching somebody stream it.
Puyo Puyo Tetris, you mean?
No, Unknown Player's Grounds of Battle.
Oh.
I think that, and this is something that I heard, and I want to say it was during the Giant Bomb stuff, or no, it was in response to that I think a lot of people are kind of evaluating that game based on the social aspect of it, of just like, oh, wow, I did this crazy thing with my friends, and not necessarily how it holds up as an actual game. Like, there's a lot of people sort of sweeping under the rug all the latency issues and the rubber banding and the cheating. Yes.
Say that. What's our number one?
I think Gang Beasts is actually a more solid game. I understand it's not quite as polished as some of the other games on this list. It doesn't crash all the time, and I can actually play that game and do fun things.
No, I agree. I just kind of wanted to point out.
Sure. I understand
that's kind of exactly what you're talking about.
It is definitely a similar argument, but I think that PlayerUnknown's Battleground actually just is so much more non-functional that it maybe gets pushed off the list just for the fact that you could absolutely load into that game and just not be able to fucking play it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a certain RNG aspect to it that I think works in its favor and against it, because you can spawn in there and be so far out of the ring when it begins to move that you're really not going to be able to get back to it. You're at that point kind of like, okay, I need to exit out and just get into a new match. Or spin forever running, which is not a fun way to play that game. The fun way to play it is to sit on a toilet and wait for somebody to enter the bathroom and then shoot him with a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't really think the ring thing is so much of a deal, at least early on, because it barely hurts you the first time, and it moves very slowly.
The thing with the ring is I don't have a better solution to the random aspect of that, because that is also where a lot of that game's tension comes from.
Yeah, the random part I have a problem with is just the distribution of weapons, because like you could just land somewhere next to somebody, you both run a house, your house has nothing, theirs has a gun in it, and so congratulations, you lose.
And then suddenly George is in his underwear and he's getting chased around by somebody with a machete and screaming for his friend to help him.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could get lucky, like that one match we had where we got like the 3 or 4 times scopes, which is like the best thing you could get in that game, because you basically now have the ability to snipe anybody.
Yep.
Just sit up on a building. Yeah, we did. I think that was the match where we got down to like the top 5.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that game has issues though.
Or Puyo Puyo Tetris 5 Splatoon 2.
I think Tetris above Splatoon.
That's why I just said.
Well, I kind of sigh because, like, I know what kind of game Splatoon 2 is, and I know it's a lot of fun. Puyo Puyo Tetris, and I talked to you about this before, but it's maybe highlighting for me that I don't like Puyo as much as I like Tetris, and sometimes it is a bummer when it swaps over to Puyo, and I'm like, nah, man, I want to keep Tetris.
I always just play the combo mode.
The combo one is very good, but I think that Puyo Puyo Tetris to me is mostly just another vehicle to play Tetris.
Okay.
But you know what? I like Tetris more than I like Splatoon, so fuck it. It's number 4.
Okay. Alright, so list for best multiplayer. Number 5.
Splatoon 2.
Number 4.
Puyo Puyo Tetris, Danny's favorite video game.
Number 3.
You could have argued for Splatoon to be higher than it. You remained silent. Injustice 2, criminally robbed of its rightful spot at number 2.
Wrong. Number 2.
Tekken 7, it's okay.
It's number 1.
Gang Beasts.
Something we can all get behind.
Damn right. Gang Beasts is such a great game.
Okay.
Hey, look, you know, Tekken 7, you can put a frog hat on Akuma and a Hawaiian t-shirt, and I think on that ground alone, it's better than Injustice 2.
I agree.
I will concede. The story mode
Okay.
also is the exact right amount of shitty voice acting for me.
That journalist guy.
Oh my god, I love him.
Oh yeah, it's awful. He's awful.
I found the note his son first sent to him. It said, "One day, Dad, I will destroy you."
I still really like that he does all this to meet Heihachi, and then Heihachi sits down with him and is just like, "Hey man, get over it." And
Yeah.
dude's like, "Yeah, okay."
Oh.
Okay, best new character.
Give me
This
1 second.
You need to add the journalist from Tekken 7 on this thing, by the way. I already know it's not on your list.
okay.
I'll be right back any minute.
Okay. Danny said, we'll figure it out. Danny, who needs them?
Who needs them? Okay. You read out this list. It's a
Okay.
long list.
I'm trying to find my version of the list, too, because I think I added some names. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Ingalls from Nier. Pascal from Nier. Mugman from Cuphead. Super Spesh, Wolfenstein. EY from Persona 5, and Tay from Persona 5, as well as Akechi. Claudio, Tekken 7, the journalist, Tekken 7. Conifer, the map dude from Hollow Knight. Bearded Han Solo, who should take right the fuck off this list. The Resistance announcer from Han Solo. From Han Solo, I'm sorry, from Star Wars Battlefront 2.
That's what happens when you read it.
Whoops. The Ring of Death from PUBG, also from Battlefront 2, is Coolbot. Greg from Night in the Woods, Ignis from Final Fantasy 15, Bruise from Shadow of War, and Awano from Yakuza 0.
Yep.
You need to add the sheriff from Thimbleweed Park.
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe Ransom the Clown?
Look, this is already a long list.
It is. And so I can think of a few things to strike off here immediately. So if you just want to add them, and I could start going through here, and we can begin the great Purge of Characters 2017.
I feel like we should wait for Danny to get back.
We should, yes. How you doing?
All right, just typing some stuff.
Yeah. I think we get some Mexican food. Big old burrito.
What kind of burrito?
Carne asada.
That's pretty good.
With this, it's like a guacamole that's been like, it's like a very liquidy guacamole. That you put like some. It sounds like the texture you think wouldn't be good, but it tastes so good. Like you squeeze a little bit of lime juice in there and a little bit of salt, and it's great. But I get that with a enchilada and a whole bunch of Spanish rice.
You know, I really like chimichangas, but Deadpool's kind of ruined that.
I don't actually like chimichangas at all. I think it's like
Why
the
not?
one. I don't know. I think it's the one Mexican dish that I just don't really
Just a
care
burrito
for.
that's fried.
I think it's the frying part.
Oh,
that's what does it for
me.
I also don't care much for hard shell tacos.
I don't either.
Too messy.
Yep.
That's up the roof of my mouth.
Yep, I don't like hard. Soft taco all the way.
Oh yeah. You ever get those soft shell like street tacos? The really tiny ones?
Yeah, I live in a place where I have street tacos.
Well, I don't know what the fuck goes on over there.
Some people would get lynched.
I just like imagining that there's like a vendor outside your house. Soft street tacos here. Get your tacos.
Extra. Read all about it. Tacos here.
Got a little bit of cilantro for ya, hey.
Do you like cilantro?
In certain things. I think in those little street tacos, they taste pretty good.
I was wondering if you had that thing where like it tastes like soap.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah, for some people, cilantro tastes like soap. It's like how for some people, if they look up, like at the sun, they sneeze. Just some weird genetic thing. Mm-hmm.
Is it also along the same lines of certain people just being physically unable to pronounce aluminum?
Probably.
And the British just over there going aluminium.
Well, it's a different word. They spell it differently too.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah, they spell it aluminium.
I thought that was actually like the proper way to say that too. If I remember.
I think. Well, I mean, I think so. Their country's older than ours, so that's probably what it was
That's
originally.
it's debatable.
No, it's not.
I got some theories
not.
about that. I'll link you to some websites.
So this is going to be a link to InfoWars.
It's Infowars adjacent. It's
But
in the
there are also
same
going to be
ballpark.
articles about how the Earth is flat.
Whoa, hey, look, you say that like it's not.
Look, I have this. I'm going to send you a link to a Neil deGrasse Tyson tweet.
Oh, well, that'll clear everything up.
But yeah,
I do
that's
like
how
how
knowledge is distributed.
my understanding is a lot of that flat earther stuff is just a big elaborate troll that like it's mostly a lot of people who know that that's bullshit and they're just doing it because it's really easy to get under people's skin with it, which is what makes it even funnier to me that people like Neil deGrasse Tyson lose their damn minds over it.
I think most of it is, but I think there are some people who are just legitimately
Yeah.
stupid.
Like there's always going to be those people who are absolutely that level of ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think, like, at that point, whether it's a joke or you genuinely believe it, like, that person is not worth your time.
Yeah.
Like, if you're having to explain why the Earth is round to somebody, there are better things to be doing with your life.
Also, on some level, if somebody is also just that committed to the bit, they're also probably not worth talking to.
Sure. There's a lot of people now who will act out politically just based on it would be a funny goof, which is upsetting for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Where's Danny?
Oh no.
I'm here.
Oh my god, how long?
Just you guys talking about the flat earthers.
Oh, okay, that wasn't that
Well,
long.
well, it's a good thing you didn't speak up or anything, because look at all these characters we need to get off of this list.
There's too damn many.
There is. Get bearded Han Solo off of here right now. He is lame Han Solo.
Okay. All right,
How
I'm
about
gonna
that?
remove
How about
him.
that
But
award-winning
hold on.
dialogue where they're just like, "Hey, you guys could go compare your beards."
Okay, I removed him
Fuck
by edited
off.
a different character.
No. He's the worst. He's the worst character of the year.
Did you shoot him?
No, I did not know that that would elicit a response.
It does. There are like 3 or 4 different voice lines for it.
All right, I might have to go replay
Like-
some of
like-
Battlefront 2.
The guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Han's like, "Oh, sorry, my blaster went off," or something. There are several of them.
So, Danny, do you know
Okay.
much about the guy who's in the mission with Han Solo? Hello, Danny.
You cut off there, so I was unsure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was
Yeah, you
unsure.
did.
So the guy in this mission is basically like a Han Solo fanboy, and he's like the worst kind of those sorts of people where he just won't shut up about how much he loves Han Solo, and like just
Oh.
dropping these like really like they seem like bad Star Wars jokes. Like they seem like the Star Wars jokes some idiot like mega fan would make, and he would think that he's being the funniest dude in the world. Like, oh, did you know the stormtroopers only hit like X% amount of their blaster shots? Crazy, huh?
Oh god.
And it's just non-stop the whole mission.
Yeah.
And then
He
you are
never shuts
lame
up.
Han Solo during all of this.
Oh, he's gone. Okay, what next?
If only he were gone forever.
Delete him from the game files.
That
Is
sounds awful.
Claudio actually a new character? Like, did
Yes.
he? Okay.
Yeah,
Look, I
7
like-
is the first one he's been in.
I like the journalist, but let's be honest here. The reason I like him is because he has a really bad voice actor.
Yeah.
His story is not good. He's not a good framing device for that story.
At the time, I needed to report the news. That's what I do. I am a reporter.
I could have
met
had a
with these-
Pulitzer Prize.
I met with these guys. They told me what happened.
Your wife died around the same time as your son, sustaining serious injuries from a fall. Suspicious. Wouldn't you say?
Like that.
I still
You
like
know that?
Heihachi hearing that going like, ah, you're that kind of journalist. Like what, the kind that can like put two and two together? Like
I feel like that whole thing could have been saved if, like, at the end, an alien came out of his head or something. Just something to explain why he talks so weirdly.
They finally like pan up all the way and he's just got the big like gray alien eyes.
Or he just has like a Futurama brain slug on him.
Yeah.
Turns out it was Jin from. It was that one dude from Dragon Ball Super.
So I haven't actually finished
That one
this.
alien.
Oh,
Oh,
Jiren.
Jiren. Ugh.
Jiren.
Ugh.
Ugh.
It was him all along.
Ugh.
Good news is they add him to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. He's eligible for next year's list.
No.
That's the year where I would suggest maybe we have a worst new character. I haven't finished the story mode, to be fair. Do they ever reveal anything with him?
No.
Because it's so weird that he clearly has a face modeled onto his character, but they never show it.
Yep. No. Nope. As far as I remember.
Alright, well, I was going to say take that dweeb off the list, but you already did. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like Super Spesh, but kind of looking at some of the other characters on this list, I don't think I like them as much as I do them.
Oh, come on.
I think we come back to
Spesh
Super
is great.
Yeah,
Spesh
we'll come
is
back.
so psyched that your ship has an indoor bathroom.
That's true. Super Spesh loves to take a crap.
Like he gets to the ship and he's like, oh man, we don't have one of these in New York. And he's like, well, excuse me, and goes in and closes
Doesn't he, like,
the door.
break the toilet at one point too?
Yeah.
So Danny, so you know, Super Spesh is the husband to like the resistance leader who eventually takes over as like the head of your movement. And he is way into UFOs. He's a huge conspiracy theorist to the point that he militantly believes in UFOs, and you, as BJ Blazkowicz, don't have the heart to tell him the truth. Like, you know where the alien technology comes from, and it's not aliens. You get arrested at one point in the game, and he poses as your lawyer, and he has this air quote great plan to break you out, which involves him pretending to be your lawyer, yammering about your rights.
Spoilers here, by the way.
As if you have any in Nazi America.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to bonk a guard upside the head with a gun after faking an injury. And they just shoot him, because, like, they know.
Yep.
You're just like, we know who the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Also, you don't have a lawyer.
Yeah, the bad guy comes in and is like, come on, did you really think we wouldn't recognize him?
Yeah. But you know what? Super Spesh didn't think that they would recognize him because Super Spesh thinks very highly of himself in a way that is, like, very charming.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm all turned around on Super Spesh. I don't think we strike him right now. Does Conifer really do much? Because my interaction with him so far was just limited to, like, my daughter's going to run a map store and you can go back up there and buy maps.
Not really. I just like his look.
He looks cool, but I think maybe we take him off.
Okay.
I think take the Resistance announcer off too, because she's a similar thing to the journalist, where it's just like, boy, that voice acting is really bad. The light is going out in the sun. Wow.
Have you heard her?
We did it.
You know who we're talking about?
Danny.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Can
Danny.
you hear me? Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who we're talking about?
Not really.
Alright, do me a favor. Pull open a YouTube video for yourself of the Resistance announcer, specifically on the Star Killer base map, and just listen to a few of her lines, and we'll come back to her. But you need to understand.
Star Killer and Jakku.
Yeah. Okay.
Then what about Coolbot?
I think Coolbot deserves a place on this list. He is a prequel era robot that it looks like he's wearing 8-bit sunglasses, and he talks mad shit in the heroes vs villains mode about the heroes and villains.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing the just deal with it glasses.
Yeah, yeah. And he also, like, the rest of his design actually looks a lot like Crow.
Yeah,
It's just Crow with glasses.
a little bit.
But, like, he also has, like, genuinely enjoyable, funny dialogue in
He
that
does.
game.
He's the one that on Camino he's like, we must exterminate these genetic horrors.
Yeah. Abort these babies.
Yeah, they're clone babies. It's okay.
I keep yelling, "Let's save some babies" when I get on the phone side, and I think everyone there is
Daggeroni.
maybe too young to remember Loveline.
Probably.
I mean, technically we should be too. But anyway, I really like Coolbot. I don't know anything about Greg. Tell me about Greg.
Greg rules, okay? That's all you need to know.
What about
Look,
Bruise?
look, you know Bruce. You don't know
Oh,
Bruce?
I'm sorry.
Bruce is cool.
Yeah, man, Bruise is cool.
It
So
just like shows up. He's like, "Oi, I'm gonna teach you how the Nemesis system works."
Bruise is just a really cool orc. Like,
Yeah, he's a troll, I think, actually.
he's very affable.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this list is a fucker. I like Mugman. I think Mugman is Cuphead's sensible better half and lover.
Yeah,
But I don't think Mugman really does much in that game besides
yeah,
going
he
like
does.
gosh, Mugman, you really shouldn't gamble.
I mean, Cuphead.
Yes, I'm sorry. They look the same. All cup
But
men
that,
look the same to
but
me.
that's what makes him a better character than Cuphead because, like, he
Yes.
didn't want to get into this mess, but he's gonna get through it, and
Sure.
so
But I mean more
he will
comparatively
shoot
to
all of these
everybody.
things.
But I mean compared to everybody else on this list, I don't know if
Okay.
Mugman quite has as much character as them because his character is fairly muted in Cuphead. Like there's not that much story in Cuphead that utilizes Mugman.
Okay, I can agree with that.
It's mostly Cuphead is like a pervert and a gambling fiend,
Yeah,
which makes him very relatable to me, by the way.
sure.
I'm a little upset that he's not on the list, but I would have maybe taken him off anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Uh, so let me tell you about Pascal and
Okay.
Engels. Okay, so Engels is a giant killer robot that gets partially destroyed and buried in the dirt. And so through a side quest, you can you.
I'm
I
sorry,
think he's just like
I'm sorry, I'm banging
wandering
around
around.
and I'm trying to like adjust myself in my chair because my back is starting to kill me.
Oh,
And
okay,
I think by doing that slowly, I'm just making more noise.
probably. I thought you had just gotten up and left. Um,
Close
which
to
would
it.
have been a funny bit. Anyway, so through a side quest, you can repair him and talk to him, and it's kind of just the side quest with him reveals a whole lot of character about him, and like he ends up remorseful for the massive amounts of androids he's killed and stuff. And it just has a really nice ending to it where he ends up requesting to be shut down. And before he does, or like after he does, you can look through files that you've gotten from him that display his like his internal monologue. It's just really good stuff. Pascal is the leader of the machines that have been cut off from the network. So they are allied with the Yorha androids. And so the main character moment for Pascal is at the end where, spoilers again, you lead Pascal and all of his machines out to a factory so they will be safe. But then the bad machines all show up at once. And so you get in this giant fight where you are fighting off tons of them and even possessing one of the big Engels type robots and like fighting other giant robots and they're like dropping tanks in and stuff. And you defeat all of them and go back and just find out that they're all dead because they all committed suicide. And they did that because Pascal taught them to be afraid. And Pascal feels super guilty about that and then asks you to either kill him or erase his memories. And so you can choose to either do that or just leave. And that's the last you see of Pascal.
Okay, but is that better than Coolbot?
Yes.
Bot's the best robot.
No, like, for real.
God, I don't know. They do sound like they have a lot of stuff going on. Along the same lines, and it's one that I kind of feel comfortable taking off as maybe Akechi.
Oh, come on.
So here's the thing about Akechi. Let me explain him. He's a garbage fire of a person. He is actually
Uh-huh.
Shido's son, who is like one of the primary antagonists of that game. He's like maybe the second biggest antagonist in it. And Shido, as far as I'm aware, doesn't know that Akechi is his son, or like he does, but he doesn't let on about it.
I thought you did know.
I think it's that he knows, but I think he never like addresses it to Akechi, so I think Akechi doesn't know that he knows.
Yeah.
Because
I thought the whole
Akechi's
thing was that he paid off somebody to not, like, make it public.
yeah. I think like Akechi's whole thing is he's trying to manipulate everything because he actually wants to kill his father.
Mm-hmm.
Because Akechi's messed up, yo.
Yeah. Well, he also, like, wants to get his attention.
So that's what I had written down is he badly seeks validation. Not just
Mhm.
from Shido, but from your group and very much from like the public, because he's leveraging a lot of his role as an investigator, working to find Phantom Thieves into like public attention and celebrity. And he just becomes more and more smug and like revels in that as the game goes on, and eventually like pits your party in a bad position where he's like, "Yo, I know that you're the Phantom Thieves, and you're going to help me do some dirt, or like this is going to go real bad for you."
I also think it's notable because I think that's the only time in a Persona game that a bad guy, like, joins your party. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't.
Yeah, like it's an actual
Mm,
party member. I think maybe in Persona 2 there's some of that stuff.
oh, maybe.
I don't quite,
Could
but
be.
I've
I
never
don't know.
actually played through all of Persona 2. But anyway,
I haven't either.
the other thing about Akechi is that you actually sort of befriend him in a very weird way, like everybody does, because you sort of start to see like the cracks in his personality and what's going on underneath. And like I think the main characters recognize that he is a very messed up person who deserves some degree of sympathy, and they try to pull him like back from the edge when they can, but it doesn't quite play out, and he ends up sacrificing himself for them, kind of hoping that they will do what is right and take care of Shido. Maybe not in the same way that he was going to, but like
Yeah.
my thing with Akechi too is like I understand that there's a lot of moving parts to his character that are very good. I want to punch his teeth out every time I see him.
But don't you like how, like, his Phantom Thief outfit is, like, a big dandy?
I, I
Like,
mean,
he has
yeah,
this ridiculous outfit,
he is a
and
big fancy boy.
yeah.
The Art of Persona 5 book was even just like, yeah, we basically just want to go for him like peacocking around, like,
Yeah.
which like again, it plays into his vanity. Like one of the things that the Persona games have always done very well is sort of tying its visuals back into its themes and into characters' traits. And that's definitely at play with Akechi. I guess my thing with him, like not liking him, is my main problem. I respect that there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with this character, but I hate him. Like I just, ooh, I hate
Also,
him so
he's
much
a
when he shows
villain.
up. But yeah, that's like so. That's the other side of it is like the game wants you to hate him, but only up to a certain point where it wants you to start feeling some sympathy for him. And I never quite hit that point where I was with the party and being sympathetic. Like they mourn his death, and I was more like a good riddance. Like that guy
Yeah.
was a lunatic.
Yeah, it is weird that they suddenly turn to be like, oh man, poor Akechi.
I think the part where he falls apart is when they're trying to have you kind of befriend him and be his only real point of like positive contact doesn't quite work out in the end.
Yeah.
Like they give him too many irredeemable qualities.
Mm-hmm.
versus someone like a Y and Tay from the same game, who
Yeah.
I think have very good characters and very good plots, and I genuinely enjoy them. I enjoy interacting with them in that game.
I think Tay's plot is a little hokey.
It is, and I think I would be okay if we need to thin this list out. I would be okay with getting rid of Tay.
Uh,
I like that you go to her and your introduction is basically, I need painkillers, don't ask me questions, and she's like, okay, I need to test out an experimental medicine, don't ask me questions.
yeah.
Just as much as I like a Wise introduction being like, hey, I'm giving you this paper bag and I don't want you to look inside of it.
hmm
And then you need enough guts to look inside of it.
EY, I think, yeah, I liked EY's plot a lot more than Tay's.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
but
a former Yakuza member who's kind of stuck between his old life trying to drag him back in and just being a good father to his son.
hmm good dad EY. Yeah, I'm not sure who I would really pick between the two.
I think I would go with I like EY a bit more. Tay's thing is that I had to look hers up because hers gets a little complicated despite being kind of rote.
Okay, let me see if I can remember. She, okay, she had a patient that she thought died, but actually didn't. But she was ejected because she was working on a cure for something.
So she was working on a
Uh,
cure for the girl's disease.
yeah,
The treatment was actually working, and the girl survived.
but
And
they
then
they fired Tate so they could take credit for it or something.
yeah, they threw her under the bus. And where I started to get a little bit murky is for that to work, you have to have one element where like the medicine looks like it's not working. Which I think
Yeah,
that's how it went. Is they did the trial and it looked like the girl was getting worse for a while, and then they told her like, oh, actually the girl died. It's malpractice on your part, and we're throwing you under the bus. And then she continues to develop the drug just sort of out of habit and out of this obligation to the girl who died, only to find out later that actually she's still alive and she was always on the right track with the medicine.
yeah. Okay.
She also has she I don't know. Like, also,
I
how
don't know.
dare you not put Kawakami on this list? She dresses up like a maid.
Because her, yeah, Kawakami's good, but look,
She dresses up as,
look, one of her perks is that you get free time during class, and
oh
that
yeah.
happened to me exactly once.
I mean, that's like the first perk you get for her. So it's going to be.
But also, it should happen more often.
It should, yeah. Oh god, this list is can we remove the resistance announcer already? Like, Danny, did you
Uh,
look up the
I try, but there's not enough good videos.
Yeah, it's
Good
it's just a
videos
bunch
on
of people
the
telling you
show.
why Battlefront 2 is bad, as it turns
Yeah,
out.
there's a lot. There's a lot of that, so I couldn't find anything.
Did you know
well,
Gaming
okay.
uploaded a video that was just like, why is Battlefront 2 bad? And I was like, why am I still subscribed to you? Let's fix that right now.
Another hot take.
Well, look, you're going to upload a video explaining what's wrong with Battlefront 2. Like, now's the time that you pick? Uh, get
I
rid
feel
of the
like this
Ring of
should be a
Death.
top 10.
Get rid of the Ring.
And besides,
But
Ring of Death was in Ark Survival Evolved back in 2016.
Fuck. You let an old character onto this list.
no, that's a different one.
No, they're the same Ring of Death.
No, it's
Alright.
not.
He just had a nose job. That's why he looked a little
Okay,
different.
But no,
Ignis.
like, oh, all right, yeah. What?
Ignis.
Yeah, he's cool. He cooks.
He
Has
is
glasses. He
he
drives.
is the parental core of your group of bros in Final
Uh-huh.
Fantasy 15. He cooks really good food. He does not trust you to drive, so he drives. He gets blinded late in the game, which
Uh-huh.
sort of comes like out of left field. Like, all of your party members have some horrible thing that happens and scars them, but they never feel like they came off as a genuine event. Like, it was just like, I don't know, I got sick back scars now. Ignis is blind. And, like, also, it doesn't matter because he can still fight the same way he always fought. His blindness has, like, no real bearing on anything that actually happens. It's just a totally arbitrary, like, we need to show that war is hell, I guess, thing.
Well, but it's also the anime thing of, like, this guy's blind. It's basically he turns into Daredevil.
Sure.
So, you know.
I don't know, I think my thing with Ignis, though, is that Ignis doesn't really grow as a character over the course of that game. Ignis is pretty much always the same guy start to finish. Like, he gets blinded, but it has no real bearing over anything that he does or any of his skills. He doesn't have to overcome a whole lot in that game. Like, he's a cool dude, but I don't think that in a game where I would expect that a character arc plays a big role in the character, I don't feel like he has that arc.
Okay.
And maybe he does in the DLC, I don't know. I did not buy Episode Ignis. Episode
You buy any
Gladio
of
on
them?
sale now.
See, I did not include Gladio because he's basically Roman Reigns, and I don't want Roman Reigns on this list.
Yeah, I don't like Gladio that much. Gladio does have a bit more of an arc in that he, again, arbitrarily, becomes really upset with Noctis for a pretty understandable thing that Noctis is going through.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is that about? Why are you being a bad friend, Gladio? I do
don't
like,
know.
though, how there is that bit where Gladio is just like, hey, I need to go, like, take care of some stuff. I'll see you guys around. I don't know when it might be. Could be a while. I guess this is goodbye. And then, like, I went and did a story mission and rested, like, a night, and then he shows up with horrible scars on his body, and they're just like, wow, you've been away for a while, haven't you? It's like, did fucking Gladio, like, find a seam in time and space and just accidentally slip through it for a little while?
He went into the Black Lodge.
Oh no. Maybe I do need to play episode Gladio.
Prompto at least takes hilarious photos.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Oh, that's who I was going to suggest adding on to this list was Geo.
Geo! Man,
Hey, Gabagoo! Geo here.
I got some stones.
Need you to find me some stones, eh?
Give me some rocks. Need to make jewelry out of them, capiche?
There's no reason to add him to this list, but
No.
I just want to recognize Geo was a new character from the year 2017.
Well,
Well,
it was from 2016, but late. Yeah.
Still, though, I think we get rid of Ignis.
Okay. It's understandable. Okay. Also, Coolbot.
I guess.
Look, they're
Yeah.
cooler bots.
I like Coolbot, but Coolbot is mostly like a funny, like, haha, look at this dork pick.
Also, we're calling robots, I would say Angles, because Angles is cool, but if there's going to be one near character, it'd be Pascal.
So, Pascal does seem like he has more stuff going on based on your description. Also,
Pascal's
Ingalls
so
reminds
good.
me of Laura Ingalls Wilder, and I do not like Little House on the Prairie, so I also think he should not be on the list.
World? Is she the one that went blind?
Just like Ignis, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's her problem. Might also be why you hate Daredevil.
Yeah, maybe. Bruise?
Yeah, Bruise.
I like him, but he's mostly there for tutorialization.
No, he's not.
Does he have an actual arc in that game that I just
Yes.
never managed to? Okay.
Yes, he does. Tell him about it, Danny.
Explain Bruise to me.
I don't know.
Take Bruise off the list.
Come on. Really?
We're going to need to make some hard
You
picks here.
completed it.
We're going to need to make some hard picks here. Take Tay off the list. I think I like a Y better than Tay.
Mm, okay.
I mean, if you don't feel comfortable with it, yeah.
Fine.
I really like the sheriff, and I think the sheriff needs to be in it.
Well, this top 5.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I mean, God Christ, with the length of that list, it could have been a top 10.
Yeah.
The sheriff, like, besides just having a real funny kind of quirkiness to him, like, all the jokes and the humor around him land for me, and he is a really good foil. Like I said earlier, there's something about Thimbleweed that is like it's very goofy up front, but that goofiness also has an eeriness that runs under the bottom of it because none of the shit in that town is right, and it's maybe the most personified in the sheriff, just sort of like hinting that he wants you gone. And like not letting you go to certain parts of the town and just materializing and like insisting that he is not also the mortician. Like, there's stuff going on with the sheriff, man.
Uh-huh. You don't know the half of it.
No, I don't. And like that's the reason I think he's such a great character is I want to know the other half of that.
Yeah. Well, okay, since he won't tell you, I guess I will just tell you. Ruse basically ends up turning against you. Like he breaks free of the mark or whatever you've put on him.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. And so like he takes the army you've raised and turns them against you. So you gotta go take him out. And you eventually you like do the shame thing on him to make him go crazy.
Oh Christ.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Oh no, Bruce.
Ruse is cool.
Well then who else do we get rid of?
Tell you who we don't get rid of. This guy. He's very cool.
Oh god. Well, he's in the top 5 for sure. I just look at the way he animates.
That's right. Well, he's very hyperactive. And at one point you go in to see him, and he's just wearing cups over his ears.
Nice.
And you talk to him, and he says, "I have cups on my ears." And you're like, "Yeah, that's cool."
You go, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then after you meet him, you look in your notebook, and May, the main character, has just drawn a picture of him with like weird limbs akimbo, and under it just written "Greg rules." Okay.
There's 9 characters on this list. We need to kill 4 of them.
Ransom,
Okay.
because like sheriff's better.
He is, yeah. And from the looks of things, we're almost like it's at this point one character from a game.
Yeah.
Which I know hasn't been something we abided by before, but given the sheer amount of them this year, I think that's a perfectly fine stipulation just to whittle the list down.
Yep. I should mention Awano is here mostly because he is portrayed by Riki Takeuchi, who is one of the greats of Yakuza cinema. Starred in the Dead or Alive series, the Takashi Miike movies, not based on the game, which that movie starred Kevin Nash
Oh.
and Eric Roberts.
Jamie Presley.
Yep, of course. Devon Aoki? Is that her name?
Sure, and let's not forget that guy who played Mr. Weatherby.
That's right, that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The audience in, arguably.
Yeah.
He's our surrogate.
F-
That character
CIA
who
alerted.
is just based on those dudes from that Dead or Alive commercial that are just like, oh, I like the way she jiggles.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he has magic sunglasses.
No, that's Eric Roberts' character.
I thought Weatherby did too.
Oh no, he develops them for Eric Roberts' character, but Eric
okay.
Roberts is the one who gets them.
All right. Well, anyway, Riki Takeuchi, and
New
he's
category:
great. He wears,
Best Dead or Alive, the movie character.
and so he wears these weird purple suits all the time, He wears eyeshadow, apparently. It's never mentioned, but sure looks like it. And he's just like way into being a Yakuza dude. Like, he's just partying all the time, and but he's also like really brutal more than anyone else is, which is probably because of his desperation to rise in the ranks, but everyone else just views him as a wild card because of that. He's the Raphael, really, of the group.
So, I'm looking at this list and I'm trying to think more of who I want to see in the top 5 at this, and just wondering if we could place anyone in like a safe spot right now just to sort of take them out of contention and then just dive into who we don't want on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that scene where he was dancing.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Purple suits.
I think the sheriff definitely makes the top 5.
I think so too.
I don't see how he doesn't. There's no conceivable way I can approach his character in a negative.
I think Sheriff, EY, and Pascal all
I would be
are
okay
in
with
the
that.
top 5.
Yeah.
I agree. With Pascal, I don't know anything about you.
I kind of think maybe remove Claudio. I don't think Claudio really does that much.
But when
Like,
you're talking about fighting game characters, like, none of them are going to do that much.
But I'm looking at the 3 that we have on this list so far have an actual like trajectory to them. And we've cut a lot of other characters on this list because they've just not really had much of an arc or a whole lot more going on besides, like, this is a real wacky character and we kind of like him. Like, I know in past years, those kind of characters have made the list, but this year has a lot of really good characters that actually do shit.
Let's be real. The only reason we're even having this discussion is because there are no skeleton characters this year.
Yes. Let me finish my point, though. We have a lot of characters this year who actually do shit, and nobody shits more than Super Spesh. He's on the list.
Okay.
Remember, always be pooping.
But as I was saying, by that logic, you could almost never have fighting game characters because they're never going to really do much.
I'm not saying never have fighting game characters. I'm just saying, like, a year where we have a lot of really good, deep characters, it becomes harder for me to put a fighting game character up next to somebody like Pascal or Y or the Sheriff.
But Claudio is an Italian super exorcist with like a weird glowing hand.
But he also barely ever shows up in that story.
In the story, you know what though? When I'm playing Tekken 7, he shows up all the time.
Sure, great. Awesome.
He does a lot. He punches a lot of guys.
I just feel in terms of what they actually show of him in a narrative, it is not much.
And they also
Hihachi shows up and he's like,
of...
I need an exorcist, and then he doesn't even really do anything with him as far as I'm aware.
No, but that game doesn't show much of Kuma either, and if Kuma was a new character, would you be saying like, well, no, I didn't see enough of the walking bear?
I would treat him the way that we treated Coolbot, where we're just like, that is a really goofy, funny thing, and I like it. But I don't think it makes the top 5. Like, if that conversation were about Kuma, that's absolutely the way that I would frame that right now.
Last I checked, there was a third person here, but maybe now, I don't know.
Yeah, who could say?
It's a mystery.
He gurgles and just moans, Kuma. Fades back into his coma.
Then we're like, wait, did you say Kuma or Akuma?
Or did you say coma? Were you trying to tell us something?
Harry Como?
Harry Connick Jr.
Ah, God, no.
That did it, apparently.
We're trying to say shit, but like this goddamn mic is just awful.
Yeah. Danny's Mike, worst new character of the year.
Let's put that on number 7. Doesn't even make the list. Perfect.
Turns out that's the mic that I hate the most.
I think though that my argument very much is just that in any other year I think he would have made the top 5. I think this year there are just better characters that are doing more than Claudio did. Like even Hahachi at the end of that game was just like, "You're useless to me now."
Yeah.
He's
Kinda.
useless to
Yeah.
this list.
There's hardly any kind of um like it. Yeah, Claudio's not that much of a integral part of the story. He's just kind of like there and that's it.
But nobody
Um,
is. It's like Heihachi, Kazuya, Jean. That's about it.
Yeah,
The
but like the
journalist.
story is about the Mishima, like that
Yeah.
their thing,
I
But
think
like,
my thing with Claudio too though is he's ostensibly set up to do something that as far as I'm aware he never actually does.
Yeah.
yeah,
I get. Well, look. Even the best exorcist can't separate Kazuya with like from the devil Jean,
Sure.
and like maybe that was like his last ditch effort. I don't know.
and like the only thing he really does is like tell Nina, "Oh, hey, there's this human guy in the Far East. I don't know if he's gonna show up or not." It's like, "Oh, that's Akuma."
Yeah, see, I talk about not doing much. Nina doesn't do much, which is
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Nina's been in like 7 games and does jack shit.
there was a lot
Yeah.
in that story mode that
Anna
just
does more.
there's some stuff in that story mode that just feels like it starts up and it never actually goes anywhere.
Akuma's a guest character and he does more. Damn it.
Yeah.
So you
Like,
were
that
listing
was-
the integral characters, and I almost said Akuma kind of is.
That's actually kind of the weirdest part is that Akuma fits in that story mode so well.
Yeah. The
But
shame.
yeah,
That's about it.
Kazumi saved my life, so she said to kill you. So
Hey, look,
go
you
do
want a
it.
fighting game character in this list. It's a shame Akuma is not a new character.
Yeah.
Because I think he actually has some stuff going on.
I
Yeah.
fucking love Akuma. Like Akuma's my favorite character in any.
Akuma's dedicated.
This is such a weird best new character list. Like, holy shit, there were a lot of good characters this year.
Yeah. I still need to remove Bruise.
I like how Bruce sounds, but yeah, I think
Like, Bruise does stuff. That's
Greg.
kind of what I wanted to point out.
I think Greg is on this list.
You think Greg over Awano?
I don't know.
That's
So
my problem.
here's the thing: if we want a wacky Yakuza guy on this list,
What?
we have a Y on here, but a Y actually feels like he has some sort of purpose there. I like his I just want to be a good dad story a whole lot. Like I think it's genuinely well handled.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bottom of this list, or not the bottom because we haven't ranked them, but like these last two are mostly boiling down to like they're really funny and weird.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like who is the most funny and weird? Is it Greg or is it Awan?
Well, I don't think that's really a fair comparison. Awano isn't entirely meant to be funny and weird, like he's a bad guy in it.
I saw him dance, mister.
That's true, and then he shoots that lady.
I know everything about Awano now.
And then he shoots her right in front of Kazuma just to be like, yeah, you can't save everybody. So get in line.
Off topic, there's a part in that Darth Vader book that you bought me where he goes to it's some planet where there are very courtly people. They say this numerous times, and they really want Darth Vader to dance. And he's like, okay, let's dance. And he pulls out his fucking lightsaber and starts killing people.
What? Okay.
That comic is fantastic.
Why would anybody invite Darth Vader to dance?
I was turning the page going like, oh my god, is Darth Vader actually going to like do a waltz?
And Vader just
waltz
starts
of
doing
death.
the Batusi.
This is the chicken dance. It's the only one he knows.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Back to the list. Iwana's got some pretty hot moves, yo.
Yeah,
But so does
does.
Greg. I mean, look at those arms.
that's true.
So here's what I'm going to suggest. And it's going to be weird because I think a lot of my argument for Persona 5 is it just has really, really good characters, and that is so integral to the experience of Persona 5. But I maybe say take a Y off the list and put Greg and Wano on.
Huh.
But that feels weird to me though, because I would so strongly
Yeah.
argue that Persona 5 really does have good characters, and a Y is one of my favorite from that game.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
I feel the two that are absolute locks are Pascal and the Sheriff.
Yes, I agree. I would probably rather take Spesh off instead
Okay.
of EY.
Okay. It's a
You think?
shame to see Spesh go like that twice, just unceremoniously popped in the head,
Yeah.
but fine.
Oh,
It's how it had to go.
sorry. Okay. Now, where are the ranks?
Sheriff
I
is
say
number
Pascal
one.
number one.
No. Cause
Oh,
okay, can I get a little inside baseball with you here?
okay.
There's a scene where the sheriff is in the morgue and there's a big old skeleton right at the front of the screen.
Yeah.
You want a skeleton in your top 5, you want it number 1,
No,
you
but
go
that's
with the
not the
sheriff.
sheriff.
Sheriff is nearby skeletons.
Okay, so.
The sheriff has a skeleton in him. Pascal doesn't, he's a robot.
Yeah, that's true.
He is a robot.
No one has
What?
more bones in his body than the sheriff.
Hold
It is
on,
a
I think
medical condition.
I think I need
No,
to
I
turn
said-
up the volume.
I said, yeah, he is a robot.
Who? The sheriff?
No, Pascal.
Oh.
The sheriff might be a robot, I don't know. I think the sheriff has the most bones in his body. Awai is built like a normal human being and has the normal human amount of bones. Greg clearly does not have bones in his arm. Awano
Yeah.
is based on a real man with real man bones. So,
Huh?
similar to Awai, we know the quantity of bones in him. I don't know how many bones are in the sheriff, but it has to be a lot.
Well,
The
if you
sheriff,
look at the characters in that game, though, they look shorter than real people, so they probably have less bones.
or the bones are more condensed.
Hmm.
There's more bone density in the sheriff. The sheriff also rattles my bones.
Oh. Hmm. So here's the thing, though. You're talking about how, this character is a good goof, but come on. Like, what did they actually do in the story? Pascal has a lot more to do with the story than the sheriff does.
Yeah, but again, Pascal doesn't have bones. Sorry.
But
Sheriff's number 1, most bones.
this is not Most Bones 2017.
No, fuck off. It has been most bones 2016 and 2015. You know how this is
No,
done.
it was not. It was Most Exposed Bones.
I don't know if I want to see the sheriff's exposed bone.
Well, see?
Hmm.
I guess you really don't care that much.
I do care, though. Like,
Look, Pascal has a very good, affecting storyline. Sheriff says funny things and pops up when you don't expect him. But Pascal number one.
fine. I think
I
this
agree.
is such a disservice to our long and cherished history of respecting bones in video games.
Look, here's the thing. Skeletons. Which is closer to a skeleton, a human or a robot?
We're not going to continue getting into it. This is your shit show, and when people downvote the video because we didn't pay due to enough bones this year, it's going to be on you, not me. They'll remember me as the one who fought for bones.
There are no skeletons here. A skeleton is an
Literally
inanimate
4
object
of the
given
list
life.
is just skeletons wearing flesh.
No.
I'm gonna agree with Larry here. A skeleton has to be exposed.
Oh, you would.
Yes.
A
Here's
man
the
with
thing,
not
though.
a single bone in his body.
Look, a skeleton is an inanimate object given life. Just like a robot that has been cut off from a network, gained consciousness, is an inanimate object given life. A skeleton is not just a person without skin.
Just put your precious robot at number 1.
Okay.
Just put your stupid boneless robot as number 1.
We did it, Larry.
We did.
Yeah, I hope you're
Also,
proud of yourself. Fucking sullying tradition.
look, you don't know for sure that there are no bones in Pascal.
Release your tax returns. It's tradition.
Okay.
At
No,
this point, I
uh,
just genuinely do not know.
I actually think this looks about right.
A Y3 Greg and a Wano.
I would probably put Wano above Greg, actually, but
Okay. I've not played on the Blizzard Yakuza 0, so this is unfortunately one of those things of just like,
Greg-
it's up to you.
Greg is less important than Wano is. So,
Okay.
Okay. Oops.
Nope, that's the list.
So the thing is,
Apologies to Awano. He fucking evaporated.
yeah, I keep forgetting I have to hold shift when I press enter when I'm editing this, otherwise it just saves it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Best new character. Count it down.
Danny gets to say the names because he contributed a lot to this specific conversation.
Thank you.
Number 5.
Greg.
Number 4.
Awano.
Number 3.
Iwai.
Number 2, Areno.
The sheriff.
Number 1.
Pascal.
Yeah, great.
Hooray.
We're going to cut the video here, and then we'll pick up next time with oh god, there's so many papers.